have not become a patron of the Geocache Talk Network, what are you waiting for? Patron levels start as low as a Bison Tube level at $3 a month. To sign up is easy. Simply go to the Geocache Talk website and click on the Become a Patron button, or go to patreon.com/Geocache Talk. Patrons now get the famous Blackout coin, invites to special events, and other really great items throughout the year. Become a patron today. Have you subscribed to FTF Magazine yet? FTF Magazine is the #1 geocaching magazine available. It is a quarterly magazine that you can be part of. Submit your geocaching milestones and adventures to be published. FTF Magazine is also interactive with puzzles to solve and the hunt to find Spartacus. If you can solve the puzzle or find Spartacus, then you will be entered in to win a special pack tag. Every new subscription, you will receive a special swag pack. Subscribing is easy. Just visit FTF's website, ftfgeo.com. Don't miss out and subscribe today.
Hello, and welcome to Challenge Talk, part of the Geocache Talk Network. You can watch the show live on the first Sunday of each month. Feel free to jump on over to YouTube, Facebook, or Twitter to watch the broadcast live and join the wonderful and active chat room, or listen to the entire show later on your favorite podcast player.
And in this episode, we're going to be talking about Challenge Academy for CacheFest 23. And hopefully we're going to talk a little bit about preparation for a challenge cache. We also have some prizes to give away on each show to our listeners. So between each show, be sure to email your challenge cache finds to challengetalkpodcast@gmail.com, and you could be a winner.
And later in the show, we'll also play our special game exclusively for our live audience, the Wheel of Challenges. So listen live, get your email app ready, and follow the instructions when the time comes so you can have a chance at winning the grand prize.
We're also going to highlight some of the challenge caches you've found, and someone will win our monthly giveaway. But first, we have some breaking news.
It's Gary! Welcome, Gary.
Thank you. Breaking news, and probably some of this too.
Oh no, Gary just spilled the beans.
Right.
First,
bean spilling on Challenge Talk. I'm glad it's our turn to spill.
I know, that's awesome. Thank y'all for having me on tonight for a couple minutes. First off the bat, first thing is the pre-event coins for CacheFest are now available, and I'm going to show y'all those.
And these are so nice. When I caught a glimpse of these on Thursday night,
so cool.
Yeah.
They are awesome.
They are so detailed.
They are. Every time I look at them, I see something different. That's how detailed they are. I have night. This is night, and this is day.
Oh yeah.
And they're even like on the back. They're not like just like a generic like just words or something. The back is even all detailed as well.
Cool.
So you can see different things. You can see the. Let me show the front be better, and I'll show you the day one. Just kind of. There's the day one, and lots of different things. You can see the pyramid right here. I do it backward. Pyramid. You've got the bridge over here. See the bridge back there?
Yeah.
I told you everything is so there's a lot of detail. So I love them. They've got a really good feel to them, and they've got the CacheFest Memphis logo for this year. Right.
Very
here.
Nice. And they remind me of like the shape of a steamboat wheel, which is one of our major images of the year, right?
Yes. Very good. Yeah, you're picking up on some cool stuff there.
I love it.
Yeah, so you're doing great.
Oh, there we go.
So you can make it into a wheel, right? So
yes. Oh my God.
With night and day. So they're available now. If you go to cachefest.com and go to the store, you can get you can either get the day or the night or both. If you want to get both, it's only $35. One is $20, two are only $35. So you can get a set for less than 40. So that's kind of cool. The pre-event coins, as most people probably know by this point, is very important that people just contribute if they will. Think of it as a contribution to CashFest Memphis so we can pay for the event, the FedEx Center, where we have the event, and other various things that we have to pay bills for. So think of it as a $35 donation, and on your donation you get free coins.
Who doesn't love the coins?
There's one way of looking. That's one way of looking at it.
Sure, you mean geocaching is not free? Wait a minute.
I saw a video that it was free once upon a time.
but megas are not. Let me tell you, megas cost money.
Megas cost big money.
Cost big money. Yes, they do. So help us out. Give us, show us some love. And if you, I don't know why you would want these. These are great coins. But if you want to buy an extra set, you can always give them away at your own event. So there you go. There's lots of things you can do with the coins. So
yeah, and so we got the CashFest GC code up there, GC9ZEFF, and you can find the link to the CashFest page. But again, simply it's just cashfest.com, right?
Yes, cashfest.com.
Great.
Yep. And part of that CashFest this year, we're doing something like this.
Yes.
So I want to give a quick update on the vault. We are hiding keys for the vault already. Mm-hmm. And somebody has found one. I know that's on your list, probably things to mention. Judy Vaughn, Math Seeker, found the first key, the first to the vault. She's got the first key in hand. So very exciting that she has that, and she'll be able to. And a couple of things I wanted to really emphasize, which is if you find a key, you automatically get a prize. So
right.
Everyone gets. There'll be a box. So if your key doesn't turn the vault, do not despair. There's going to be a cool box of prizes that you can pick from for having a key, or if you have two keys, you can get two prizes out of the box. So we'll have that. There'll be a lot of cool prizes in there as well. But I wanted to point out that the vault is going to have a lot of great things. And so one of them I know that you guys get to mention tonight, which is going to be huge. Because somebody asked the other night on Deep Dive, they said, well, what's in the vault? Why should I go try to hunt down a key? And it's like, let me tell you why. Mm-hmm. And so I'm going to turn it over to you guys. And if you will, kind of give people the very first big ticket item, I guess, of what's going to be in the vault.
All right.
We get to be first?
You're the first.
Woo! All right. Breaking news here.
Right. So Challenge Academy is going to have $100 in gift cards in the vault. And that is just one of the prizes in the vault.
$100 in gift cards.
I mean, that we are not just saying there's going to be a few geocoins in this vault. This vault is packed.
Yes.
Yeah. So we can't say that the idea for this is original because of the game that you guys did a couple 3 years ago now, almost, where we hid.
Yeah,
you hid
for
things?
GT Stash. We didn't have
the GT Stash.
Yeah, but we didn't have cold hard cash in there. Well,
right.
Cold hard cash.
Well, we can't give away cold hard cash, but we can give away cold plastic gift cards.
Cold plastic gift cards. Yeah, well, we didn't have that in the stash. We had coins and things, but yeah. So there'll be a lot of. We're going to mention as time goes on. It's just worth it to go hunt the keys because, you get a prize no matter what, and if it happened to turn the thing, you're going to get unbelievable
all the goodies
items, all the goodies. So
right.
Anyway,
that was It's hard to say exactly what you're looking for because we might
Yes.
all hide them in a different manner, but
Yes.
in general, this is what you're looking for.
That is the key.
A key plus. Oh, here we go. Congratulations, you found it. You're gonna know that you found the right thing.
Yeah.
It's got geocache talk symbol on the back of that tag.
Yep.
And so this is a literal key that you want to find to try to open the vault.
Yes.
Yeah, but don't go rushing over to Emily's house because they will be out in the field.
Right. Right.
They will be. And
Not all of them are
UDAC
hidden yet.
does- No, they're not.
No,
but they're starting to.
obviously.
And the clues will
Yes.
be out on I can post it here in a second and then I'll let you guys get on with the show. But there you go. Cash
Yeah.
investment. You got it all. Man, you're on top of things.
Yes.
Trying.
So we have a Facebook group. You guys want to join this group because this is where we're going to be dropping clues. And when I say we're dropping clues, you might
Mhm.
not know where in the world this clue is for. We are trying to make this hard. So,
Mhm.
you don't just get handed a key. Nothing easy here, folks. So, stay on top of every clue you might be given because you
Yep.
might be trying to figure out, where am I even considering that this key might be until these for example, I'm hiding some with puzzles, I'm hiding some in like a snag the tag style with clues. So
Very cool.
yeah, watch the Facebook group. That's where you're really going to find all of your clues. They're going to be slowly dropped between now and Memphis.
Yes, absolutely. Yeah, I like the fact that we're each hiding 5, and so that's like 45 keys. So there's plenty
Yeah.
of keys that'll be out there in the wild, and they're not going to just be, in like I'm not planning to hide any in Texas. I already spilled that bean on Deep Dive.
Yeah, you did on the other show. Yeah, between you and Tom, you've got like 10 down there in Texas.
We do, but we're not. I mean,
Right.
mine are going to be spread out. So that's the good thing is we've got people who listen and watch from all over. We've actually have a plan in place. Well, there's a plan in the works that will be in place for internationals to be a part of it. So Tom is working out the details of a key by proxy. So Tom will hide a key virtually for an international winner, and then he'll turn the key for you. And if you win, he'll ship you all your stuff. So
Oh, nice, Tom.
Oh, that'll be exciting.
so
I was going to spill the beans tonight to say that North America is in play.
Right.
North America is in play. Ooh, I like that.
I know that.
That's
Yeah.
very cool.
And I just realized for our audio listeners, when you go to Facebook, you want to search for the Cache Fest Memphis Vault. So Cache Fest is one word, the Cache Fest Memphis Vault Facebook group, and you should find it really easily. Or just reach out to us if you can't find it.
Yeah, very good. Thank you for that. The audio. We always have to remember our audio. We have lots of good audio listeners. So,
Yeah.
all right, I'm gonna turn it over to you guys. Don't forget, go buy your coins, and I'll ship them to you pronto. And y'all have a good show, and we'll talk to you later.
Thanks, Gary.
Bye. You bet.
Bye.
Thanks,
Sounds
Gary.
fun.
Yeah.
All right. Oh man, Tim, this is so exciting. I feel the pressure of like hiding really good key, making really good key hides and making really good puzzles, but I'm having fun. I think it's awesome that Judy found the first key so quickly. Judy told me she had a strategy and she was the first one to find the first key hidden. So I think her strategy worked. Maybe you guys can stalk her a little bit, see if you want to follow her
Maybe
strategy.
follow her around and
follow
beat her
Judy
beat her
around.
to the prize.
Yeah, so these keys are exciting.
Cool. So we do have other news tonight.
We do. Mhm.
Aside that was the big news. Today marks the last of the current signal maze.
Right.
Tomorrow starts the last of the signal mazes.
Right.
So-
So get out there quick tonight if you didn't earn your 500 points and good luck.
Make it happen.
Yeah.
I got mine early.
Yes, I did too.
I've got both of mine. I've been able to enter the maze and then exit the maze all within the first week or so of each contest. So
Right, and
I
I've
like.
been sitting on, like, some adventure labs waiting for tomorrow to roll around to apply them to the last labyrinth. So the last labyrinth they announced is called the Dragon's Lair, and then on top of that, if you have, successfully exited all labyrinth mazes, you'll get a meta souvenir. So I like that they've been doing that the past few, promotions, and so hopefully a lot of us will get that meta souvenir too.
I hope so. I got my fingers crossed. So yeah, that'll run February the 6th until runs all of February, all of March, so April
Something
3rd
like
or so.
April's, yeah, the
Yeah.
very first few days of April. Yeah,
Yeah. So that one's coming up.
yeah. And then Tim, have you seen the game on geocaching.com?
The game. Oh
The
yeah, I have where you can
Yeah,
win a
t-shirt.
t-shirt.
Yeah. So if you go to geocaching.com, it takes you kind of to a typical page, but there's a blue banner at the top and it has the details for the game. You click on the link and it's a pretty fun game to click around a map of the world where they highlight some unique geocaches. And some of those unique geocaches have a clue to where the hidden geocache is. So everything, all of this is virtual. You're not finding real caches, you're exploring real caches. And then when you find the country where the hidden fake cache is hidden, you can enter for a t-shirt. So that's just really fun. And I noticed that they change it every week. And so
Yes.
every week you have a chance to enter to win. So I don't know how long that'll go, but it's a fun little side game.
Yeah, a little experiment kind of thing. And I like the virtual. The first one, I think I clicked on 20 or so before I finally figured out what was going on. And some of those caches look really cool. It was a way to,
Yeah.
explore maybe some new places and things like that.
Yep.
So I like that. So
Good.
usually what we talk about when we start this show is how was your month?
Yeah. So my month was pretty good. I got to find 4 challenge caches, and those were pretty simple based on the number of finds, a number of virtuals needing to be found, number of souvenirs to earn, number of states to cash in. And then I had got started on my next challenge cache hide, which kind of got me thinking for tonight's topic. So it led into where we'll talk tonight. How about you, Tim? How was
Oh,
your
cool.
month?
January is a little slower for me. I have to admit, January and February are probably my least caching find months. But I did complete a 10-day family trip to Hawaii. So
Nice.
that was exciting. I added another state. I added 5 more Earth caches to my Earth cache list. I'm working on a challenge to get to 500 of them.
Ooh,
So
awesome.
I now have 405 Earth caches. So
Wow, that's awesome.
so we were able to do that, and my son and daughter-in-law and my daughter, all 5 of us went to Hawaii for 10 days. We did a little bit of scuba diving. A lot of people know that that's one of my great passions is diving and geocaching. And there was an Earth cache at Molokini Crater, which I'm waiting to get my picture from my daughter so I can submit that one. But I've got all the
Fun.
data that I need for it. And I learned that come July, I'm going to be a grandparent for the first time.
Woo!
I am so excited.
Congratulations. That's
So
huge.
lots of fun stuff, but not a lot in the caching. I got a couple hundred caches, but a couple of little challenges that are, kind of where we go.
Well, good. Very good. And congratulations. And that's worth a few less geocaches for sure. All right, Tim, you have our update on Project GC statistics.
I do. I didn't make it very long this time. So this month we went from 36,018 challenge caches worldwide to 36,179. So we only went up, 160 challenge caches this month. But again, Northern Hemisphere, it's winter time. Not a lot going on. There were no changes in the leaderboard, so the U.S. still leads the way, and all the states that were in the list from last month are still the same. So
All right.
I will bring that up, next month again. We'll go from there.
All right.
See how
Sounds
we
good.
do. Get
Okay.
those challenges out there.
That's right. Well, I'll try to get mine out before next month and we'll talk about that. All right. But yeah, now we want to go back to Memphis just a little bit. We know that a lot of you in our live chat and then even our audio listeners were a part of Challenge Academy at Cash Fest last year. We have just a few we're hard at work behind the scenes getting Challenge Academy set up for this year. And so we want to hear from you guys. Any thoughts you have to add to it? So Tim, what were your thoughts on Challenge Academy so far? You have the advantage. You were a participant last year and now a behind the scenes person this year.
Right. So I think that gives me a dual perspective right now. But I can say that the geo trails that we did last year, if you do go to the website for Cash Fest, at least it was brought to my attention earlier today that you'll still find the 2022 challenge. This challenge doesn't work.
Don't do that challenge.
Don't do that challenge. But anyway, from doing the challenge, I really liked the various trails that were there. They provided a lot of differentiation in what I went for, what I was looking for. And the fact that I had 2.5 months to prepare for the Challenge Academy was something I really took to heart and I really did well with. So, one of the things that we talked about in the post Cash Fest stuff and the pre Cash Fest stuff is what went real well. What did our audience, what did our participants really like? And I think this pre-challenge is something that a lot of people really, really liked. So I'd like to see us do that again.
For sure.
But we don't want to do the same old things.
Yeah. So if you guys have any specific thoughts, throw them in the chat. If you're listening later, email us at challengetalkpodcast@gmail.com. And as we're crafting what we're doing, we're going to take everything into consideration to make this year even better than last year.
Yeah. Were they too easy? Were they too hard? Should they be harder? Should they be easier? That's what we're trying to work on.
We're going to be a little tough on making anything too much easier. But we do want to hear what you guys thought.
Yeah, and Pizza Ninja put in the chat room about seeing so many people on the social media do the game. I think it's virtually assured that we're going to do some kind of picture social media post again.
Right.
So,
we hope to.
Yep, we'll see something like that, and we'll change it up a little bit.
Yeah.
Acorn Mama, Yep, there we go. Not all the trails were interesting to her. Well, that's okay. A good mix of hard and easy. Be kind to the new cashers. That's a good point.
Okay. And we want to be kind. Also, we feel like some of the week of challenges that we put out to folks are a way to be kind to the new folks. We recognize whether you're a new casher or new to challenges, because that's what we were hoping at Cash Fest, to introduce people to challenges, make them less scary or whatever, less intimidating, if that was something someone had never tried before. So, the pre-event, the 2 months that you guys have to do it, it's not going to be something someone could make up just in that week of. But that's why we have the other challenge trails. So I hear you, and that's kind of our thoughts behind that. Tim, you're frantically making some notes. I can hear, right?
I am. Yes. Sorry. Well, because Houston, Texas,
you guys,
Dave
Tim's
had a
wheels
good
are
suggestion
turning.
there. He said, make a kid cashers trail. And I like that. And maybe we have a trail that is, if you have less than 1,000 finds, you can take this trail.
Yeah,
if
maybe
you have
we'll make
more
a
than
newbie
10,000
trail.
trails, you can take this trail. That could be interesting. Yeah. So those are the things that are rattling around in our crazy brains. And we really do want to hear from all of you out there, because while Emily and I have a great time talking to each other once a month, and it is about the challenges, we want to know, what do you want?
Right.
What makes you go?
And if you guys have any questions about attending Cash Fest in general, Tim, in my opinion,
Uh-oh.
We put on an amazing mega for our first mega. I know that the Cash Fest mega team brought in some mega veterans to help us out, to help Geocache Talk Network out. And in the end, we put on such a fabulous event for our first mega. And so this year's only going to be that much better and in a very fun city. So ask us any questions you've got, whether it's just about the Challenge Academy or the event in general, because we want you guys to know how much of a good time it could be if you come and join us.
Yeah, and I would share with your opinion. I've been to a couple of Geo Woodstocks, and I went to the party last year, and I've gone to Midwest Geobash for a number of years, and I was really curious as to what Cache Fest was going to be about after the virtual, worldwide Cache Fest. That how is it going to go? And no event comes off perfectly. I don't care how good you are. And there were things that, yes, we want to do better for this Cache Fest. But overall, I thought it went very, very well for the first time. And so I'm really excited. Number one, for a second Cache Fest, and number two, because I get to be behind the microphone this time.
Right. And I'm sure all of you are faithful listeners, but just to make sure it's not just challenges, it's Gadget Academy, Puzzle Academy, and just plain old fun geocaching activities.
Yeah, the grounds at Shelby Farms were awesome.
So
it was a little
many
warm to
caches
get out
there
that
too.
day, but
A little warm. That's
a lot of
another thing. Our mega has air conditioning on the day of mega event. Not many megas have that.
Yeah. And
All right.
I like Neil Moore's comment in the chat room that Cache Fest was awesome. It was different than other megas, but and one of his favorites. Each
Thanks,
mega
Neil.
has its own kind of identity.
Mm-hmm.
And I like the Cache Fest identity, that it's just about caching and having fun and bringing together the Geocache Talk Network stuff.
Yeah.
So the GTN stuff. So it is going to be great. It is going to be fantastic. And yes, one of the teaser events is the Vault, to keep some interest going in the pre-sale. Get your pre-sale coins and get ready for a great Challenge Academy. So we're gonna fix that up and make that better.
All right. So pop your ideas over to us any which way you want to, and we look forward to hearing those.
Okay.
All right. And like I said, I started preparing my next Challenge Cache Hide, and it brought me to thinking about some of the guidelines. And then that took me down the path of some tasks I needed to do. And I thought, well, let's just bring it to the show. So yeah, I'm going to start here with a web page, and everything we show you is going to be linked in our show notes. So you can reference this after the show. And it looks like I have a blank. There we go. It was a blank screen. So this is learning about cache types page on the geocaching website. And we're going to go down to section 2.12, which is challenge caches. And I'm going to scroll a little bit to point number 4, which is really where my thoughts got started. So challenge cache criteria must come from information broadly available on geocaching.com, such as the statistic page, cache placement dates, types, attributes, souvenirs, etc. So we know that, and we also know that it must be verifiable through information on geocaching.com. And, that's where Project GC comes in and making our challenge checkers. Most of us are very familiar with that. And this next point says challenge cache owners must demonstrate that there are plenty of qualifying caches to meet the challenge at the time of publication. We also get into...
So that one, Emily, that's one of the big changes from when challenges were paused, if you will, during the moratorium, because you could, back in the day, put a challenge out that you did not qualify for.
Right.
And they've changed that in the current guidelines. So now you have to qualify for the challenge, and you have to verify or prove that others have
Yes.
qualified for that challenge as well.
And that's down in point number 5. A challenge cache needs to appeal to, that's interesting, appeal to,
Mhm.
and be attainable by a reasonable number of cachers. Your reviewer may ask for a list of cachers from your area who qualify. So that really got me going down several research paths. So I'll tell you guys what my next idea is. I really like attribute challenges, and I really like it when attributes are combined into unique subjects unique groups to make a specific subject. So I came up with the idea of an Oregon Coast camping challenge based on
Ooh.
attributes. And so camping attributes might be campfires nearby, camping nearby, truck and RV accessible, available at night. I don't think I'm going to use that one, but it's an example of what you
Mhm,
could use.
mhm.
Quads, that's a huge part of the dune recreation in our area, using quads
Ah.
in the dunes. Horses, we have a number of horse campsites because people ride their horses in the dunes as well. So just different aspects. I think I even included public restrooms nearby. A lot of our campgrounds have that, that wagon wheel shape with the restroom in the middle. So just thinking of what all the attributes might apply to this. So then I got to thinking, what is my difficulty going to be? Am I going to require someone to have a loop of just one of each of these attributes? Or am I going to try to make it harder and make it a loop of 5 of these attributes? So then I start looking, and I use this tool. So we're going over here to geocaching.com and then search. And so you can use, before you search for anything, you can go to the filters and scroll down. And I thought I would include flashlight required. So you select, and I only selected one attribute at a time because I wanted to see how many caches in my area require a flashlight based on attributes. And so I changed it to about, I made it Oregon or home location. That works for me, because I'm in Oregon. I made it 50 miles. My number lock's not on. There we go. And then I even included, caches that I found because I'm not looking for caches to find. I'm looking for caches that would apply and that all people would have the opportunity to find. So I hit apply. And my search results, the last I looked, it was 3. So within 3 miles of where I live and where I want to place this cache, there are only 3. Now you can see I found one. You can see I didn't find one. And then this other one, I haven't even searched for it. I don't know where it is exactly. And then even this fish crossing one, it is depending on the tides and whether you're going to go wading or use a boat, how difficult you want to make this on yourself. It can be kind of a difficult cache to get to. You can see the terrain is 5.
The terrain's a 5, yeah.
So
You got a terrain on that one.
So immediately my thought is, I can't include flashlight required on my camping challenge. It sounds like a really good part of a camping challenge. I'm going to walk around my campsite, use my flashlight to go to the public restroom. But I'm thinking immediately, my reviewer might not even allow this. So, these are things to think about. Other attributes when I change it, you change it to just for my area, take off the flashlights, put on the quads, and you get so many more. So, that was one thing, one piece of research that you might have to do is figuring out what you're asking people to find and how possible is it. And you can see there's 67 results within 50 miles where quad attribute applies.
And that's a good number of caches that,
Plenty, because I'm
the
asking
next
them
step
for
to this is how
one.
many are required to
Yes,
sign.
because when I saw that some of these, and I'm not going to go through all my attributes, but some of the attributes, they're more than 3, but not many more. So I immediately knew that asking people to have a 5 loop of this whole big list of attributes was not doable. So yeah, so I'm bumping it down to 1 of each attribute within 50 miles of the cache is at least available, and that's going to be the requirement for the finders.
Okay.
So yeah, it's just as you're building something in your mind, flushing ideas out, these are things to consider.
I like it.
Yeah. Another thing to consider. So over here on Project GC, there's your typical homepage. You can get your ideas, from going to your profile. But also, I needed to know how many of my peers qualify for this cache, just like those guidelines say. And Tim, you haven't hidden a challenge cache, right?
I have not, and I hate
Okay,
to
so
admit that, but I have
that
not
is
done that.
okay. I hadn't either. We all walked through my first challenge on this show in our show history. Maybe someday it'll be your turn. But yeah, so I have heard from others, and then in talks with some of my reviewers, a lot of times they want to know about 10 people who have achieved the who can meet the challenge right away. And so you can do several things. You could scour people's profiles if you want to, or you can scour through challenge checkers and search for a checker that might be applicable to what you're looking for. So you can see I had done a search for 50 states because one of the thoughts was one of my recent challenges that I hid was called Friends of Friends Challenge. It was an inspiration from a challenge in the Jackson County, Georgia challenge series. And so it was finding a cache in the state of Oregon and the states that border Oregon and the states that border those states. And so I needed to find people who found caches in those, I forget if it was 7 or 9 states. And so I looked for something bigger. I looked for a checker that would cover all 50 states. And that way, when I ran my friends' names through this checker, I could see quickly how many caches or which states they qualified for. And then that would tell me, when I think of the people in my area, are there 10 that meet it? So you can see there, I for this random checker that I found. And also, let me go back to this other page. You can see some of these checkers have the name crossed out. That specific cache is archived. I believe that's what it means. But the checker is still there. You can see this use checker. So you can still use the checker even if it's crossed out. It just means the cache is not available. So going over and running this checker on myself, you can see a little map there that shows the states I cached in. And so, for example, with that Friends of Friends challenge over here on the west part of the country, I could quickly see if my geocaching community has completed this. So, it's all about finding a tool that might work for what you're looking for and then using it to your advantage. Maybe finding a checker that has more information that you need because you haven't built the checker specifically for your cache yet. You're still figuring out if this cache is going to work to tell the volunteer checker builders. That sounds wrong. Tim, they are not called volunteer checker builders.
But they are volunteers and they are checker builders. So it's probably as close as we're going to get until we get one back on the show.
Script writers. There we go. Before you're asking a script writer to write something, you can still check things out. And then that brings me to, this is follow up from last show. Let me get over to my notes here. Batman74 shared this. So this checker is an any attribute checker, and it also checks it for a fuzzy grid. So there you go. You can see this first one is parking nearby attribute, and you can see my attribute fuzzy grid about it. You can see that I have 75 combos of the parking nearby attribute.
Right.
But, when I'm trying to decide if my friends have met the challenge of finding a quad attribute, I can do a simple search on the cache page for where quad shows up. And I can see here there's two fizzy grids for the not quads, the negative attribute,
Yep.
and the
Negative attribute.
positive attribute. So I can see when I look up a friend's profile quickly by this master attribute checker, yeah, they have found a checker with quads. So
So
this
you gotta
attribute
find some
checker,
more caches with quads. You gotta
I
find more quad caches.
I know, look at
That's what I
that.
see there.
So I guess I need to buy a quad. Makes sense based on where I
Yeah.
live. And then this checker was nice because clear down at the bottom, wow, you can see a list of attributes. When I looked somebody else up, they had 3 different attributes in this list where they had none. So, for example, in my, when I'm checking, if I came down to the bottom, instead of searching, does this person specifically, have they found quads? Have they found parking nearby? Have they found restrooms nearby? I can see what they didn't find. So that's
Right.
just an example in my situation of how we can use our tools to stalk people.
Right. Well, and there in the chat right now is really very lively with going over a couple of different points in what you're talking about.
Great,
The
great.
point number 1 is, can you get your challenge approved? And in order to get your challenge approved, like you read in the guidelines, it's got to be appealing. Meaning that there are a number of people who would qualify for the challenge if it were published in this way. And I know I have talked with the reviewer here in Michigan. Is a real good friend, and he does use that 10 kind of a rule of thumb. If there are 10 people that would qualify for this cache in your area, and now in your area is a qualifier term. Some areas are bigger than others. Like it could be just in the province of Ontario, which is a lot bigger than 50 miles.
Right.
But you did the 50-mile search just to see
What
how
caches
close
are
the
available.
caches.
Other
Right.
caches, like if someone was starting from scratch in my town, how far would they have to go? Could they reasonably in their own area find one with flashlight required?
Right. So before you even worry about sending it to a reviewer or putting that on the cache page, if there's only 3 caches in your area that have that, the likelihood that you're going to find 10 people that would have found 10 caches with
Yeah.
a flashlight.
And that's
Probably
a
pretty
good
low.
point because I did find 10 people with that, but when I went the other step to check availability of finding caches that would allow people to qualify who don't already qualify, that's where I ran into the flashlight problem. So yeah, my local friends who have done prolific caching in other areas still qualify for this. But going back to that guideline, when in doubt, talk to your reviewer.
Oh,
But going
absolutely.
back,
Bottom line,
but
that's
yeah, going back to challenge cache owners must demonstrate that there's plenty of qualifying caches to meet the challenge at the time of publication. Your reviewer might be great with the whole state of Oregon. I don't know that. I didn't get around to that step before this show tonight. These were just thoughts that I was having that made me think, wow, which way am I
well,
going
and
to
you
take
want to think
this?
of that because, Oregon's a pretty big state. Michigan is a pretty big state. So if I'm looking to place a challenge cache, I need to consider what the local people are, but I also need to consider those that are going to come visit. Why are people going to come visit a particular area in Michigan, and how would they qualify? And would they
Mhm.
qualify?
Mhm.
Making
And
it
I
fun.
can tell you, I've probably found maybe 3 caches total on a quad. Like physically took a quad to a cache. But there's plenty of caches where the attribute applies, but I just took a nice walk in the dunes, you know?
Right.
And so we're not saying, for these caches that the attribute is you must have this life experience. It's just you must find this cache with this attribute.
Well, now we're talking about scuba caching on the ET highway. So
We could go there. That has a whole purpose and a whole other show, and you can maybe dip into it if
yeah.
you
Oh, we did that. That's another show, right? Yay! Okay.
Yeah. So anyways, these are just thoughts, as you guys are thinking through what your hides are going to be. And my 10 people, I've talked to my reviewers, my 10 people don't have to be right from the Oregon Coast Highway 101. We are constantly visiting over on the I-5 corridor. Folks on the I-5 are coming over here. And so, my local pool of cachers isn't that small. Maybe I could talk to my reviewer, 50 miles from over on the I-5. What do flashlights required look like? And so there's just so much to talk through. And again, we've heard from so many reviewers, ask your questions. They're here to publish caches, and they want to publish caches, and they don't want to turn people down. They do if the rules make them turn people down, but they want to help get caches out there.
Right. I've sent many an idea to my reviewer, and many are like, thumbs up, go ahead, keep going. I look forward to seeing it. And some are like, well, maybe you want to rethink that. And not it's a bad idea, but let's give it something else. So
Right. And then just touching a bit on another show that we had a while back, several months ago, my intention is to hide the final near a campground, of course, having that theme carry out. I'm even where, I have my ideal campground that has a horse camping area, to even tie into that horse attribute. So, just as you're hiding your caches, so many angles to think about. But that's what makes it so much fun.
Little tent and put a bison tube right in the doorway. So you open that up, and now you've got your tent there.
I love that. Themed container, themed location, themed challenge. Very good.
It makes it so much better. I've done so many challenges where it's a pill bottle under an LPC.
Yeah.
And the challenge is fun. It's fun to complete the challenge. But then when you go sign the log, it's kind of a letdown that it's like,
that
you
was
went
an LPC.
to all of this trouble to do all of this cool stuff, and then you dropped it off the end of the table.
Yeah.
So make your cache worthy of the challenge so that it is themed. It is worthy of the chase.
Yeah. Yeah.
Cool. Well, what do you say we get to some other fun stuff?
Let's have some fun.
Woo!
All right. And so again, we just like to remind everyone, if you have anything else to add to this conversation or any conversation you'd like to bring up to us, email us at challengetalkpodcast@gmail.com.
So is it time? I'm not going to do as well as Jeff does, but
no.
The Wheel of Challenges!
Yes, it is. It is time for the Wheel of Challenges. Good job, Tim.
Thank you.
I love your enthusiasm. All right. So it is time for the Wheel of Challenges. One live viewer will be selected to face off against the wheel to have a chance to win the grand prize, which is a 1-year membership on Project GC. So we do ask that you limit yourself to 3 wins. But if you haven't won 3 times so far, please participate with us tonight. So to enter, let me pull this up. There you go. To enter, send an email with the subject containing Spin Me, followed by your geocaching username in brackets, and answer the following question. What is Signal's last labyrinth called? And the first verified user gets to go up against the wheel. And your profile will be checked live right here on Project GC. And if you qualify, you win. So everyone start emailing me. I'm going to open up our Gmail and see who's going to be the first to give us a correct answer.
All right. Let's see. I don't remember what. Let's see. This month they're in the hedge, right? And it's a goat.
Was that this month or was that the last one?
Yeah, that's what I was. Well, that one's still active today, but that's not the one we're asking for in the question.
No. All right. Let me double check. I think we've got our first submission. Okay. So we have our first submission from Jim Stark, Starcasher. All right.
Woo!
And Jim, I've been saying your name wrong this whole time. So we're going to say Jim's name right, Starcasher. And let's bring up the Wheel of Challenges.
I'm kind of hoping you're doing this because I'm not.
Yes, I am. I just need to get us over to the wheel. Oh, my goodness. Okay, guys, did I? Oh, yeah, here's our wheel. I'm thinking, boy, did I forget the wheel again.
Come on, wheel.
So Jim, Emily's internet. We're all sitting here
Emily's
waiting for it.
Wait for it. There it is.
There we go.
We saw it.
And then I stopped it. It popped up and I stopped it. Okay, you guys.
Oh,
Sorry about the
no.
delay. It's coming. It's coming. There it is. All right, here we go. Okay, we're gonna hit the spin button. Got a tiny bit of audio.
I love
there.
live podcasts.
Yeah, right? Okay, so we have a 4-star difficulty challenge, GC2A00B, the NASCAR challenge cache. And let's see what that cache is about. So we're going to load that cache. Okay, the NASCAR challenge cache, difficulty 4, terrain 1.5, where it's hidden. And this says, to log this cache, you need to have found a geocache, geo events included, with each of the championship car numbers and the cache ID code. So your list needs to contain the car number, the cache ID, the cache name, and the data find. So that's in your log. So you can see here different drivers and their numbers. Oh, is it just one cache? Is that how you're reading that, Tim? To log this cache, found a geocache with, oh no, each. Okay, that's where you're difficult.
You have to have each of the numbers. This one's in
Each
Ohio,
of the
right?
numbers. Okay, let's see. Is it in Ohio? Yes, this one's in Ohio.
Okay.
All right.
Yeah, I've done this one.
Okay, so we're going to go to the checker for this one. 1 second as we pull that up. This is taking a little while again. Sorry about that, guys. We will get there. Okay. Somehow we have to enhance my internet
We're
for
gonna
our
have
show.
to do that, yeah.
All right. So let's put Jim in.
Now make sure that it's Starcasher and not plural.
And it has to be the correct upper and lowercase.
Correct.
All right. Here we go. All right.
Yoo-hoo!
Starcasher qualifies. And so that means he has found, it says 30 of 30 words required to qualify. So congrats, and we'll be in touch to get you your 1-year membership to Project GC. Well done. Your hard work has paid off for participating in Challenge Talk.
I kind of thought he might qualify for this, being in Ohio, and that's one near Midwest Geobash, and it's a very popular challenge for everybody going down there to try to hit that one. It's a very fun cache too. They put it out on their front, the front porch. I'm not crazy about front porch caches, but it's a great big box that you would sit on, and you open up the lid, and inside are boxes and boxes of goodies. There's your traditional swag and trackables and path tags inside. So it's definitely a worthwhile challenge. And lots of cars. There's a lot of car things in it.
Very fun. Well, good. So thanks for participating, guys. And everyone, please continue to join us and participate in the wheel. And now we'll go to our monthly challengers. Every month, we give a congratulatory shout out to listeners who email us proof of qualifying and logging a challenge cache since our last show. And anyone who sends an email to challengetalkpodcast@gmail.com with the GC code, having a found it log, and if you want to include a photo, will be entered into a prize giveaway for our Challenge Talk Path Tag. So here are a few of the interesting challenges we heard about from our listeners. So let me move over. This is our first one. Okay, so Tim, this is pretty special. Let's see here. It's loading. It's loading.
For those at home, I learned that Emily has Wi-Fi internet and does not
Yes.
have a direct connection to her router.
I
That's what
have
makes
to
things a little
buy adapters and adapters that won't kill my computer even more. Yeah, we have things to work on. All right, so this is submitted by Bloody Cool, and this is GC5K A1V 3 Mile High Club. This is part of the Retired Monkey Challenge series, and this is number 66. To claim this challenge, you must find a cache with an elevation of at least 15,840 feet or 4,828 meters. And so this is pretty awesome. Let me get to the right spot. And there's Bloody Cool at Mount Kilimanjaro Summit in Tanzania. How awesome is that?
That is
So-
an amazing picture. And
Yeah.
I did have the great pleasure of meeting Nels in the Pacific Northwest this year. Great cacher, good guy. And this is an awesome achievement. This is great.
Yeah. Yeah. So congratulations. That was a really fun notice to get from him in the email. Happy to share that.
So, and our next one that we have is from Team Tailwagger. And do you have that one on you? You do.
Yep.
Look at that. All right. This is the historic caches of Huntington County in Indiana. And here you have to find and log 5 of the 7 oldest existing caches in Huntington County. And you get to pick which 5 you're going to do, but you have to do 5 out of 7. And there's a lot of county challenges like this in the Midwest, and they are so fun to go visit the historic challenges in the area and the historic caches. Sometimes you have the original log, sometimes the original container, sometimes not, but yeah, that's a fun one.
Yeah. Good. Good. Next up, we have from Starcacher. This is the Ohio County Century Challenge, Defiance County, and this is GC8FVYN. And I don't think I brought up the right. There we go. There's the right cache page. And this is requiring you to find 100 caches of any type in Defiance County, Ohio, from any time. And as long as it is, I believe, a physical cache. I think that's what Starcacher said. And he said there are some of the 88 Ohio counties where there's no challenge cache yet, as the county does not have the required minimum number of active geocaches. So this again goes back to our topic tonight. There has to be about 125 caches in the county that the reviewer requires before publication of a challenge cache for that county. And so he said this is his 9th Ohio County Challenge Century Challenge found. And he also has found 3 of the Michigan County Century versions. One thing that I thought was neat was his log. So we'll have a link to his log here. But I was telling Tim, this kind of log is full of what Starcacher is working on. Why he came to this cache, why he came to this cache on this day, because he's on a birthday cache run to find caches on the anniversary of the day they were hidden, as well as all these other things he's working on. And he even mentioned, thank you, Starcacher, that this is an entry into this month's random drawing for a prize on Challenge Talk podcast. And so, Tim, I remember days when I was new and I'm reading through other people's logs and I'm like, wow, that's a thing. Oh, and that's a thing, and so it's just a reminder on how our logs can be inspiring for the next casher who might not have even thought of something um, until you planted that tiny little seed, in their mind that is something that they could go out and do.
Well, and it's also cool for the cache owner. As a cache, I do have caches out there that I've placed, and I can't tell you that, I read all the logs, even the TFTC logs, but the caches that I have in my workshop right now, I've been working on for probably 3 months, and I've got
Mhm.
4 or 5 on the table ready to go. You work that hard, you paint them up. When you get a TFTC, it's kind of like, that's what you thought of my cache? I worked
Yeah.
really hard on this. Tell me a story. Tell me you liked it. Tell me why you were like it. So, Jim's done a great job there, and I love
Yeah.
that.
So thanks for talking about us, Jim, and also think about how you can inspire others with your log. All right. So this next cache, Tim, I think you were going to talk about this one.
Oh, I was. Yes. So this is the challenge, the 3 degrees of caching. So you need to find 3 different degrees in one cache.
Hey guys,
So,
sorry, Tim, I just totally took you out of the podcast. So welcome back.
oh, well, thank you. It's so nice to be back. I was looking at my notes, not the screen.
Yeah, you guys, I am like clicking the wrong button everywhere. There we go. That is the button I wanted. I didn't want to remove Tim. Tim, back to the 3 degrees of caching challenge.
So, in one calendar day, you have to find 3 different degrees, east to west, north to south, not consecutive. And it has to be a physical container. So, this one's kind of interesting.
Mhm.
I might have to look this one over a little bit more and see all of the details to it and see how to make that
Yeah.
happen.
I think on one hand it sounds kind of easy. What's it rated? Difficulty 3. It takes travel, so the commitment to traveling in one day, but depending on where you're traveling and the availability of caches, it could be kind of easy. So when you think of the degrees in a circle, I like it. It's fun. It's definitely, an older type of challenge that wouldn't be required today. It was hidden in 2013, but yeah, I like that one.
Hmm. And you've got one from Gary, right? Before we run out of time here.
Yes, right. We are running out of time, but we wanted to talk about this one. So Gary of the GBs finds so many caches. So that's always pretty awesome. He's always sending us in a nice long list. But this is something that Gary recently hid. And this is the bronze 2 icons for 31-day challenge. And Gary thought that this would be of interest because it seems to be the first cache of its type, according to challenge checkers out there. And so your challenge is to find 2 different cache types for all 31 days of all months and all years since you started caching, lab and benchmarks excluded.
All right, got to be back to that. I guess physical cache is not right, but benchmarks are now removed, and of course, labs are. How do you qualify those? So
Right.
but it's just any 2 different types for each day, and they don't. I found one on February 1st in 2006 and another one in 2011, and that's 2 different cache types on the same day that qualified for the first. So it's an interesting challenge, and I like
Mhm.
it. And Gary says he plans to add more to it in getting a silver one. I don't know if I'll get to the gold. His gold idea is to get the 9.
9.
I don't know that I've done 9 of cache types on 30 days or so. So that's awesome. And Gary, that's a great challenge.
Yeah.
And we really want to hear about the challenges that you all want to go
Mhm.
for. So make sure you send in your email before next month and let us know what you've been doing for challenges.
Yeah, and
And
even
if
what you're hiding, we wanna hear
right.
about that too. Mhm.
And from all of the caches we get, we give away a prize, do we not?
We do. And so, Tim, for the second month in a row, we have a double winner.
What?
Star Casher was randomly selected from all of our entries, even entries we couldn't get to tonight. We put you into the drawing. And Star Casher, you have won both contests tonight. So congratulations. We'll be in touch with you for your to get you your path tag and as well as your Project GC 1-year membership.
Way to go,
So
Jim.
congrats.
Promise this isn't rigged. Next month, 2 winners
This
guaranteed.
is not rigged. I don't know how this has happened 2 months in a row. It never happened before last month, and now it's happened 2 months in a row.
So feedback. We really want your feedback about the show. We want to know what you like. We want to know what you'd like to see differently. What you'd like to see more of. Do we want to get more guests? Do we want just Emily and I shooting our mouths off? No, probably not much of that. What can we do to make it better for you?
That's right. That's right. You guys make us, you're the reason we're here. You make this happen. And also, more reminders. Next show is the first Sunday of March 5th, having a guest on who is a prolific planner of geocaching challenge events.
Ooh.
And that is Socks and Amanda of Socks and Amanda. And then also remember, as I mentioned, show notes will be posted shortly after the show airs in the video description on YouTube. And every link that we've talked about, every page we've shown, we'll have the link to that. We'll have those links in the show notes.
All right. And for February, remember, it's not about the numbers. It's about the challenge.
Challenge accepted. Thanks, guys, and good night.
Thank you. Good night.